I want to ask you this question. You're into worship and all of that, like just gospel music in this industry. How did you find your path in it? Like, how did you begin this journey?
If you are someone like me who speaks Tamil but doesn't read Tamil, but you always wanted to read the Bible in Tamil, then the Tanglish Bible is absolutely for you. The Tanglish Bible is a Romanized version of the Bible, meaning the Bible is still in Tamil but it's written in English, so hence the name Tanglish Bible. This is really great when you're reading through the Bible in English or any other language for that reason and are struggling to understand the meaning of a passage because you don't speak that language. Now you don't have to worry about that if you have the Tanglish Bible. So if you want to grab one, check out the link in the description and use code PM10 at checkout for 10% off. That is PM10 for 10% off at checkout. Now, back to the video.
So music has always been there from when I was young. So when I was born, when I was just 6 months, my mom told me that someone prophesied over me that music is something that I will be doing for the glory of God when I grow up and things. So that is something my mom has shared with me. But earlier on in my life, I was never interested in music. My mom would send me to piano classes, singing lessons. I would just not be interested at all. I still remember this one time in first grade, they wanted me to sing at school. And my parents were like, you need to sing for this annual day program. And I just started crying. I didn't
On
want
the
to
stage?
Not on the stage.
Oh, like
right
when they
before. I was like, I don't want to sing. Why are you pushing me? So like through school as well, I wasn't very interested until the 7th grade. So until then I was just like what is this music? Yeah, like I'm not really like inclined towards it. But 7th is when I heard someone else sing, and she was actually one of my seniors in school, and she sang How Great Thou Art at school assembly. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, wait, I can sing too. So that is when I started pursuing music, and like that desire for music sort of grew in me. But to be very honest, I was very bad when I started out. I would try singing, but I would never, like, I would record myself and like listen to myself singing, but I would never be satisfied with how I sounded. But yeah, God really guided me in that path. I would, deal with a lot of insecurity in that sense. Like, I would question God, like, God, you've placed this calling in my life, but I'm not able to do it. Like, I sound so bad. What do you mean? I'm going to sing for you. Like, what does that mean? But I think one part where I was just like, okay, let's just see where this goes. Like, I love music. Even if I'm bad at it, let me like at least try my best. So initially I tried, training myself. Like, I would watch all these like YouTube tutorials, videos and whatnot, and just tried training myself, but I never got anywhere until like college, when God opened this door for me to train under my vocal tutor. And under him I completed 8 grades in Trinity Music. And yeah, that was when I sort of professionally started singing. And the reason I sing this way today is because of my vocal tutor. All thanks to him. But yeah, God opened the right door for the right person to, sort of coach me. And and even now, I'm constantly trying to get better, right? And God really guides me in that sense, like, hey, you should try it, this way. Like, he would make the right video on YouTube pop up. And, so I think God is so good with like teaching you and like guiding you. And yeah, that's been my journey with music.
And, you mentioned that you lead worship at a church. And can we like dig deep on that worship part?
Yes. So I've been leading worship at my church youth fellowship for a very long time, actually, from when I was, I think, 19, 20. And yeah, I'm 27 now. So it's been a long time. And initially it used to just be about, like, when I was young, it was always like, okay, this is something that is very new to me, right? Leading worship. I still remember the first time I led worship. I didn't know what to speak. I didn't know how to, like, sort of connect the songs and things like that. But yeah, my youth team and my youth pastor, they're very supportive, and yeah, I kind of grew up in church in that sense, under their leadership, mentorship, and all of that. And yeah, worship initially, yeah, it looked very different for me, right? It was just about the songs, like, going, singing, ensuring you say the right things, and yeah, of course, praying before you start finishing. It was just the platform for me at that point, right? Okay, whatever you do for God, do it well on stage and then come back. That was the approach with which I went. But now it's changed so much, because I think worship is like your entire life, your entire self, right? Every single thing you do, right? It's not just me going on Sunday, leading worship and coming back. It's not just a few songs that you sing on Sunday, but it's rather your entire lifestyle. So that intimate relationship that you have with Jesus privately is what will overflow when you lead worship on Sunday, right?
True.
So that learning has been really eye-opening for me.
I mean, I also lead worship at a church, and so starting, like, I think I thought worship was just, songs and singing and saying the right words and to be articulate.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at him, like he's leading worship so well. So in the beginning it was just like, oh, I sing well, and that's just worship, like, so I'm part of the worship team now, and that's how. But the more I started, getting into the Lord, he started teaching me worship is just not songs.
Yeah.
And so there are like two parts, right? So there's expression, and then there's the essence of God. I mean, essence of worship. So what I think about worship is, if we have the essence right, the expression can be fixed. Even if it's expression as in you show it.
Yeah.
Like that's why we tell, like, worship is a lifestyle. And it's the way you love people.
Yeah.
And even those things are worship to the Lord. So the essence is our heart toward God. What
So
we are
good.
doing, is it for the Lord? Is God our supreme desire?
Yeah.
Like, is he my ultimate, want or need? And when your heart's posture is right, then worship becomes easy.
One of the very first worship workshops I attended was Ebenezer Prem Kumar Anna, who really shifted the way I viewed worship. He always says, worship, you can divide it into worthship, right? You're ascribing worth to Jesus, who is worthy of it all, right? So this story that comes to me from the Bible, it's Mary of Bethany, who breaks the alabaster jar at the feet of Jesus, right? Expensive perfume, she just breaks it at the feet of Jesus. And she's weeping, she's crying, and she kisses the feet of Jesus and wipes Jesus's feet with her hair. It's very vividly portrayed, right, that incident. And it's so beautiful, right, that your expression of worship should overflow from that intimacy that you have with Jesus. Because Jesus said she was forgiven much, so she loves much, right? So she had that intimate connection with Jesus. She experienced intimately what Jesus did, right, in terms of forgiveness. And she recognized that, now I'm forgiven, now I'm redeemed. For someone who did so much for me, and he's also, died for us, and that's something so huge. No man could ever do it for you, right? Someone who's done so much for me, right? This is the least that I could do for him. And we're created to worship. We're created to sing out his praises. A lot of times, our human mindset, we equate God to be just like man, right? We
not realizing his worth.
So we project our humanness onto God, thinking that he's also just like us. But God is so much more supreme, so much more set apart, so much more different than each one of us, right? He's infinite. You go through the Bible, you can just see how great God is. You cannot even fathom how big He is,
Yeah.
right? So ascribing that worth to Him, Jesus, like, you're worthy of it all. I am your creation, right? So yeah, so I worship you for that reason. Yeah.
There are times where I'll feel like so low. I'll be like, God, I really have no energy for anything right now. And so since God shifted the way I look at worship, right? So even when you're low and you don't have the felt need to do anything, God asks you to just be there.
Be that. Yeah.
Right, like give what you can't handle. Like you feel that I don't have the energy, the energy to even say anything to you right now.
Wow.
Like there are times where we don't we go through hard times, right? And you can't really like worship all the time, but since God changed that perspective, you just being there and giving what you have, even that grief or the sadness that you have, like just giving it to God is worship.
That's so good, because this is something that I've been sort of meditating on. This one reel I came across where he says, a lot of times we imagine, an overflow of God's presence and all of that, in big worship services, and, that's sort of a setting. But the Bible says God is close to the contrite in heart. God is close to, the needy, the poor and the needy. And he was saying when we, serve these people, you can feel God's presence even more, intimately. So coming back to what you said, right? God is so close, like, especially when you're going through a hard time and you're going through, these situations of sadness and things like that. I mean, you see David literally ranting. It's like, this is wrong, that is wrong. But in those moments is when you can actually feel the presence of God so much more intimately. I still remember the times when I'm crying, when I'm, so overwhelmed and, just like unable to do anything. That is when I have felt, God encounter me so powerfully. So yeah, that's so beautiful. And just like how Mary of Bethany, right? She didn't hold herself back. She didn't really care about what, like other people thought about her, but rather she focused on just pouring the most expensive thing that she had.
So we can call that sacrifice.
Right?
Yeah.
So even if that means, I'm connecting that with, even if that means sacrificing our emotions, right? At that point, I don't understand, right? I'm like, God, is this what you're doing, in my life? Is this where you're taking me? Because it doesn't look like that right now. I'm going through a hard time. I'm going through a breakup. I'm going through, I've lost my job. Like, I don't see you in this situation, but that is where worship comes in. That is where you obey and trust that in God's character, right? That He is good, He is faithful, but that even if I can't see it right now, He is working behind the scenes and He will come through, right, at the right time. So yeah, that's worship. Yeah,
that was a very nice. Talk about worship. Oh wow! And
just something that you just go all out.
Yeah, like I think I can just keep going on and on about worship, because it's such a vital part of my life. Right? Like just realizing His worth and living, and Him teaching what is worship and sacrifice.
Yeah,
I just literally keep going.
Yes.
Yeah. So coming back. So you're in the worship and gospel and, all of the Christian music, right? So how did you find your purpose? Like you knew that, okay, God is calling me to this. How did you find your calling?